Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Soccer fans, get ready. Professional soccer kicks off next week in Lorain County. The Lorain County Leviathans home opener is on Monday, May 25th at Forefront Field in Avon. Tune in Friday for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets courtesy of the Lorain County Visitors Bureau. Tickets for the entire season are on sale now at LorainCountyLeviathansFC.com. Mike, we got to talk a little baseball.
Let's do it. The Guardians. Extra innings win over the Detroit Tigers. Yesterday, they have won the first 3 games of this 4-game series. This afternoon's game, the series finale, 1:10 first pitch on ClevelandGuardians.com. But let's talk about the offense in the big picture before we dive into yesterday's games. Tanner Bibee was incredible. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
But over the last 20 games, guys, the Guardians are 14-6, and a big reason for that is how well their offense has been playing. They have a team on-base percentage, Jason, in the last 20 games of 347. 347. They're averaging 5.3 runs per game during that stretch. Both those numbers, the 5.3 runs and the team on base percentage, ranking the top 7 among Major League Baseball. This was a team that we knew coming into the season, had some pitching, had a lot of promising young hitters in the lineup that hadn't proven anything. Jason, when you look at this Guardians offense over the last 20 games and really this season in totality, are you surprised with just how productive this group has been considering the slow starts to Quan and Ramirez and Manzardo?
When you talk about Hosey and Manzardo's numbers, yeah, you can say I'm surprised. But, I mean, we've been saying all spring, like, this offense is legit. Like, it's gonna be a legitimate Major League offense. And right now, I just looked it up during the break to make sure, the average OPS in the American League is 715. Guardians have 8 hitters over 715. When's the last time Cleveland had 8 hitters in their lineup over the Major League average in OPS?
99.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute. So, yeah, I believe wholeheartedly. And you see Kyle starting to come out of this a little bit. Hosey's heating up. Quan has looked better at the bottom of the order. Not quite himself, but drawing more walks, starting to get a feel for the strike zone again.
Got a hit yesterday.
So, yeah, I absolutely think that this is real. It's sustainable. And this is who they are.
Yeah, first of all, I'm happy for Tanner Bibee because he deserved that. But like last night, they didn't hit. Then all of a sudden, they did. They've been scoring. I think Bazana's been a jolt. I think the lineup change, moving Quan down, has helped. He got some hits the last couple games. So if this offense is at least okay, then they have every chance to win the division, and they have. But more importantly, doing it now, like we're getting real close to the time the decisions are going to have to be made on, are we going to give up some of these young arms to pursue one bat who can do it? But seeing the young players hit the way that they have, it's changed the outlook, and the numbers back it up.
You look at this lineup, and we'll start top to bottom real quick, but Angel Martinez has been way better than we could have imagined. DeLauder has been as advertised, if not even better. Mm-hmm. Ramirez is getting hot of late. He's hitting over 300 in the last 10 games, but disappointing start to the season. No one's really worried about the long-term outlook for Jose. Manzardo, under where we expected. Hoskins has given you what you expected. Bazana has been incredible in the last couple of weeks. He's hitting over 300 with an 830 OPS at this point. Like, that is what you thought you were getting when you drafted him number 1 overall. Patrick Bailey, maybe the worst hitter I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wait. Is he worse than Hedges?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch Guardians in the last week.
He's 1 for 15 in his Guardians career thus far.
But he did get a ground ball last night to tie the game.
He did have the speaking of last night, so Bobby was incredible. 8 innings pitched, just the 1 run, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. He was incredible. But I think my favorite part of what Bobby did last night, in the I think it was the 9th inning. Yeah, it was the 9th inning. Maybe 8th, 9th. It doesn't matter. Bazana has a chance to turn 2, makes the bad throw to second, commits the error. Young guy that could derail, not everything, but could obviously derail the situation. Bobby then picks off the guy at second. On the very next play, Bazana's one that gets a tag. Then they showed him in the dugout afterwards. Did you see this?
Yeah, Bobby has
his arm around Bazana, trying to console him. Hey, no biggie. We got this. We got out of this. Keep your head up. We need you. Bazana leads off the top of the 9th for the Guardians, down 1-0. Little inside-out swing into left field. Thing of beauty. It's a pretty good pitch from Will Vest, by the way. He ends up getting just enough of the barrel to send it into left field. Ends up scoring the game-tying run. And that kind of leadership from Bibee, who's 0-6 on the season. I know win-loss record doesn't matter, but he's 0-6. Pitched a hell of a game last night.
Yeah.
And needed something like that maybe to kind of turn around his fortunes. He's pitching better of late, and I love the leadership to see from the guy that you invested in to the future of your franchise.
It's baseball, right? Like, even when you're hot, you'll have a night you didn't score. Well, they found a way, and that was big for Bibee. And he will get in the win column probably sooner than later. I think Bazana and DeLauder kind of raised the ceiling of this offense, no doubt. I think we all feel pretty good about the starting pitching. Bibee turns it around. Like, they could run away with this division.
Tigers are in trouble.
Yeah.
Serious trouble.
Yeah, like it's now at 8.5, and it's only May. But you start getting to double figures, and I know Cleveland had an unbelievable comeback last year in September, but that's the anomaly. That's not how it normally goes.
Yeah.
Normally, you fall double digits behind, you got a hard time coming out of it because you need the team at the top to crater as well at some point in the season. So, I mean, Detroit could be 9.5 out by the end of the day in a few hours here, and that's a big hole to climb out of. And I know they're trying to get Scooble back, but man, I mean, when the White Sox, who were supposed to be at the bottom of the division, are in second place, 3 games back, you're right. The Guardians could put some distance between themselves and everybody else this summer.
It's almost like you circle last night as one, like, okay, you stole it. And somewhere along the way of 162, you're going to get one stolen from you. But that ensures that you won the series. It's a blow to Detroit's already fragile confidence and terrible record. And, like, circle that one, like, okay, if you take off, that was really a big one along the way.
And you're right about Bazan and DeLauder changing the look of this offense. Angel Martinez, I mean,
AL Player of the Week.
If you want to talk about somebody who came out of nowhere, who, if you want to do a topic on who's the most surprising player, it's him. There's no debate. If he can continue to do this, that really changes the look of this offense, because I never expected this type of production out of him, this type of power out of him. He's been incredible, and if I mentioned the other day, if he could walk more, then I think you've really got. I think he's legit, but you'd like to see that walk rate increase a little bit, and then you'd really feel good about where he's at.
You weren't on the day that Tyvis came on with this crazy take of Angel Martinez is who I thought Stephen Kwan would be.
Yeah,
like, these are the numbers that when Tyvis picked 20 home runs from Stephen Kwan, this is the player he thought he was getting. It's Angel Martinez. It's not Stephen Kwan. I wanted to ask you specifically about Tanner Bibee, though, Jason, because you've been a Bibee guy forever.
Yeah.
I think 2 years ago,
yeah,
your bold prediction would be get Cy Young votes. Yeah. You've been on the Bibee train. The last couple of starts have been better for Tanner Bibee. And I think his overall numbers this year they look worse because he's had a couple.
He got blown up a couple times.
Atlanta was one of them. Yeah. He's had 2 or 3 starts that you just want to throw out. The rest have been average, not exactly the ace level you want from Tanner Bibee. But last night was an ace-level kind of performance. 8 innings pitched, the 1 earned run, just 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. What have you seen from him lately, Jason, that may give you confidence that, hey, this season's starting to turn, he's starting to put it together, and we'll get more likely or closer to this version of Tanner than the bad version of Tanner we've seen early this season?
Trust in his stuff a little bit more. I didn't look last night to see, like, the breakdown of pitches and where he was velo-wise and all that stuff. But he's got some really good secondary stuff that when he relies on, he normally gets through in better shape. So, I mean, a 3.75 ERA is not terrible, and that's coming down. That was over 4 for most of the season. So, if he continues to bring that down a little bit, I think he is who he is at this point. I think I probably overshot him early on. He's not the ace, but he at least needs to be a sound number 2, and for much of the season, he's been their 4th best pitcher. So if he can sort of right himself a little bit, if he can my thing with him has always been get deeper into the games. He never gets very deep into the games, and obviously, I shouldn't say never, rarely. Yesterday, obviously, the 8 innings that in a stretch when they don't have any days off for like 2 weeks. So that's huge to give the bullpen a little bit of a breather. The game goes to extra innings, but for the most part, he really saved the bullpen yesterday. So if he can continue to work deeper into games, get through 6 consistently, that would be huge. And you see him starting to put the wheels back on this thing.
Looking at today's pitching matchup, you have Joey Cantillo versus Casey Mize of Detroit. Mize's numbers are impressive. I know he missed the beginning of the season, has come back. He has a sub-2.5 ERA. Cantillo's been kind of up and down. Started hot. It's gotten a little hit a little harder the last couple of games. Jason, who is the advantage in this particular pitching matchup? Would you give it to Detroit, or would you give it to Cleveland?
I would give it to Detroit. Casey Mize, former number 1 overall pick. He's had a lot of health problems the last few years. When he pitches, he's normally very good. You see there the ERA 2.5. Cantillo has been trending in the wrong direction. He hasn't missed as many bats the last few starts. Certainly the Guardians have a chance to win, but if you're asking for an edge between those two, I would give it to Casey Mize.
Detroit sports fans have had a miserable week.
Oh,
dealing
man.
with Cleveland.
Yeah.
They cannot
they-
wait for this
yeah.
game to end today.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
Pistons,
desperation time. I mean, the Brooms could come out in a 4-gamer.
absolutely.
4-gamer, yeah. And it's not great weather out today. Not that it really should impact, per se, how this game goes, but it's a little colder after a couple of hot days. We'll see if the bats can continue for Cleveland. We mentioned to the start of this topic how good they've been the last 20 games. They scored 3 yesterday. Didn't score any till the 9th.
Yeah.
Then they scored 2 in extras and 1 in the 9th to tie it, set it into the extra frame. We'll see if they can do it again this afternoon. 1:10 first pitch. Guardians.tv if you want to watch. And we'll see what the